What's going on, gamers? What we're going to be doing here is showing you my build, but first I'm going to go ahead and give you the clear, and then we're going to go after the build. Here is going to be my attempt for the first time to get the floor 250 and try to solo it so that you can see how good this build is. It's giving you guys an alternative build to all the mainstream stuff. And of course the turrets are there, but if you build them right, they're actually really good. And who doesn't want to get up this high on the floor? Because the majority of the world is not on floor 250 plus, you know what I mean? People are still like enjoying this game. This game is amazing, I love it. So are we ready? As you see right here, floor 248 to 250. We're going to be doing this for you guys. Then we're going over the build after. So let me know what you guys think about this. I'm going to mute the mic. Let's go. You guys see, I took that out first time. So special. Final floor. Hopefully we don't get the curse floor. You guys know what I'm talking about with those two big bosses. Or the Gatling gun. Oh, they're the worst. There you guys go. For 250 soloed on my first attempt in front of you with this build. So, we're going to start going over the build real quick. And I'm level 122, as you can see. Right? And as you can see, we're doing the freaking Gatling build. It just shreds. I'll give you an example, like right here. Look how much damage I do. I'm going to hit 999 real quick. That's before using my special. So you can imagine this is millions and millions of damage. Right there in front of you. So starting off, oh, I just got an outfit. I'll get to that in a second though. You want the Primo LN2 Splatting, and the reason why is because this has max charge speed. Always go for the Primo, they're the best in the game. So that when you're in the air, you get that max charge speed, otherwise you're wasting DPS. Going over, the 3 that I have is Speed Up level 3. You want to swim around the map as fast as possible. You literally need this because it just gets chaotic. You want damage dealt to far off because you're going to be in the air shooting down. That's an extra 24% damage, which is level 3. And then concentrated attack level 3 is nice because you're going to be doing 3 or more consecutive attacks with this gun. So automatically right there, you see you're going to be getting 40% damage on top of maxing it out to plus 50. That's just pretty much easy to realize. If you guys want to use other weapons, you can do that too, but I'm using this with my build. And obviously the 3 gadgets is the torch screw. Obviously with the torch screw, I tell you right now, the first thing you want is that floaty fun because that's what boosts you up in the air. And what you want also with that is 100% horizontal area up because what that does is that allows you to cover more of the ground. Like if you see if I put it down right here, with that 100% damage up, guess what? You are up in the air 24/7 and with max charge, you can just mow down whatever you want. You see, that's kind of the idea of having this for the tank build that I'm doing right here, as we see, is going to be the ultra tactical tank. Obviously, this one here is really good too, but I'm working on another build for that. But with torch screw, yeah, you want that duration, you want it up as high as possible. You don't even need that much cooldown. You want to max out all of these and upgrade all of them. But the reason why you only need the 4 cooldown, because I upgraded that and made it a 3, is because the duration is up 60%, so it'll spawn again. Propeller damage, you obviously want that up, along with vortex damage going up, and then you want vertical area up to be high so that you can get up as high as possible, with firmament keeping people debuffed, because it's going to hit enough. Like if you think about doing this right here, I mean, look at that, it's covering the whole entire zone and everybody is pretty much debuffed, and you're doing tons of AoE damage. We're not even including in the Splatellites we're going to get to in a second. So you kind of get the idea of how good that is while keeping you off the ground, what you want for endgame. It's 100% essential. You can't escape that. So you cannot do this build without that. I'm telling you right now, this literally is where it's at. So going on to the next one is the shot pots. I like them because they can literally nuke down and do tons of single target damage. What do I mean by this? Watch how fast they hit 9-9 right here. I'm not going to be doing anything. Look at that. It's already 1,000,000 damage. Right? And you're saying, okay, yeah, that's a ton of damage. You want to balance between AoE and single target damage. They can nuke down enemies for you, but you need to build them the right way. So how am I doing it? I only have 6, right? And I'm going to tell you that's what you want. And you can swap out Explosive Fire now for something else if you want. We'll get to that in a second. But first and foremost, you want multi-shot because you're going to be shooting 3 enemies doing millions of damage as fast as you saw. So you could be doing 3 million damage just like that with 2 turrets. So that's 6 million damage with the 2 turrets on the field that quick. On top of the millions of damage that you're doing. Range up, you want 100% because you want them to be able to cover as far as possible. Shot damage, obviously you want that maxed out as much as possible. Haven't found anything better than that. I think that's where it's at. These are obviously down in the 6 zone because they were 8s. Fire rate up, you want that to be large. And then when they're done, they explode and do AoE damage. And then the duration obviously is up 20%. If you can get a little bit more of that, sure, go for it. I'm not done maxing this out. That way that you can keep them up even longer, but the cooldown comes back just as fast as possible. So they're pretty much good on that. Next is Splatellites. They're also incredibly important. I have all 8 slots filled up for this. And I'll tell you guys what, for uppercut, you could swap that out for another mod I'll show you in a second. But orbital range up and Splatellite area up is 100% important. Watch this when I spawn my Splatterlites right here. Just to give you guys an example. Do you see how much this is actually covering? And they do tons of damage. On top of spawning this, you can imagine the AoE damage is just going on right here between the two. Yeah, you're doing hundreds of thousands of AoE damage, which you need on the field. And as soon as it's pretty much down, I mean, I could respawn the Splatellites again. Look at it, they're doing pretty much 10,000 AoE damage, plus putting defects on enemies, or debuffs, if you want to call it that. Going back to the Splatellites, though, you want more Splatellites down on the 4th tier because that spawns more so that you can do more AoE damage. Obviously, you want cooldown reduction. When I level that up, I'm going to get that to actually spawn even faster, but it gets up in time anyway, so I'm trying to put that towards another mod. Duration up 30%, which kind of makes you not need a high cooldown reduction. And then you want Scorch so that you could be having AoE damage and dots up 24/7. Uppercuts I like because it basically CCs the enemy. But if you wanted to go to Tinker and go down, I'll give you an example. You can replace Uppercut with add vertical damage. Splatellites also inflict damage vertically, which is actually good. So let's say that if I wanted to remove this, and I wanted to go to this, and I spawn Splatellites, they're going to be doing vertical damage. Do you see those Splatellites with rays going up in the air like it's going up? That's vertical damage, which I believe I'm going to be trying that out, and I think that could actually add more DPS. But what I'm going to be doing, since I've spent so much money maxing out other things, I'm going to be getting to that later. But in the meantime, I'm sticking with Uppercut because it knocks them up and it CCs. Just depends. Do you want CC or do you want high vertical damage? That's going to actually make it go up in the air. But I'm up in the air anyway, so that's why I'm like, I'm not so sure unless I'm on the ground like this and I spawn the Splatellites and they're doing damage up in the air with this and both of these going on at the same time, as you see right there, without even attacking. So that's kind of like where I want to go. So next is, you guys probably wondering, what are you using for relic powers? I'm telling you right now, you want all 3 of these because all 3 of those buffs are incredibly important. And I'm going to use Lifesaver because I'm telling you, you're going to be hit on the edge. And if you use this, you can recover 20% faster. There's going to be a time that if you don't have that 20%, you'll get ticked and you'll die. I promise you, it is important to have that. And for my 5th, I'm always keeping damage up because with this being maxed out, you get an extra 40% weapon damage on top of the other weapon damage you're getting. You'll be doing tons of weapon damage. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You guys want that, trust me. So that's pretty much how this build works. What I'm going to show you guys is I'm not going to even use my Gatling gun. And watch this hit 999 so quick as I showed you guys. You see that right there? Look at that. I didn't even use my gun. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to use any of the gadgets when this goes off. This is kind of like your DPS parser training dummies. You guys know how this works. Watch this right here. Gatling gun. 1 round and I hit over 1 million damage. That's it, just that. So you can imagine spawning your special, popping this, getting your buff, and then hitting this. You're doing millions and millions of damage. And this is the build that I'm using right now, and I'm not having a problem with it. As you see, I just soloed up the floor 250, so I want you guys to let me know what you actually think about this build. Become a member if you want. Leave a tip down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Try it out. As I said, I'm also working on another build, which I know a lot of people know about. And this is pretty much staying in the air and doing as much damage as possible. Depending on what other weapon you want, you can obviously mess around with them. As you see, I got a lot of primo weapons that I'm going to be working on. They all can get to level 50, obviously. That's where you want to get them. So let me know what you guys actually think about this Gatling gun build with turrets, the Splatellite, and obviously the most important thing, which is keeping your character up in the air. And the thing is that you don't lose the charge while you're up there. Definitely with Primo Max, you're basically getting it off very quick. So later, y'all, enjoy this build. Let me know what you think.